So at the end of last season, we did successfully manage to stay in the Premier League after obviously changing from a tiki-taka formation to a gegenpress, a 4-2-4 formation. We finished in 15th place on 38 points, keeping our place in the league. Interestingly, Everton and Wolves' long-term Premier League sides get relegated, along with obviously newly promoted Ipswich. Being the 1st of July, the transfer window has opened. We have already done some business. We've mainly sold players, but we have brought in a couple as well. First of all, James Bree has made his move back to Luton Town. Obviously, season 1, he went there on loan. They then made that a permanent deal for £1.9 million after getting themselves promoted. We've also sold Lewis Payne to Wickham for £95,000, and somehow Ipswich have spent £10 million on Ryan Fraser. I don't know why they've done this, especially after they've been relegated, but they've decided to go for it, and I'm happy because I didn't really want him in the club anyway. 2 players have joined the club on free transfers. First of all is Billy Barker, who did not have a club. He just turned up on a scouting report and they went, sign him immediately. I saw he was wanted by literally every Premier League side, so I've just thrown the kitchen sink at Billy Barker, and he has joined, and I'm pretty sure he's signing a very lucrative first permanent contract when he turns 17, which is obviously in literally like a year or so's time. And the other one is Tamui Bakayoko, the former Chelsea, Monaco, Napoli, AC Milan, and PAOK, which is PAOK Salonika, has joined on a free transfer after spending a year in Greece. Got released at the end of his contract. I've picked him up for a squad player. I don't expect him to play a huge amount of football. In fact, most of the board and fans don't like the fact that we've done this. That is all the business so far. We have nearly £80 million to spend, and I'm going to be doing a fair amount of investment, I think, throughout this summer transfer window. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to just basically buy an entirely new starting 11, but I probably will buy maybe a starting 5 players. Let's say 5 more players to join that starting 11. Before we go to the end of the transfer window, you can see there we are predicted to finish 18th place in the table. If we have a very quick look, we'll sort that by team. And our 2 star players, Aaron Ramsdale and Carl Walker-Peters. This is what I think is our best starting 11. They've still got the weird 5-2-3 formation, which we are not going to be playing anymore. I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. Probably another centre-back, probably a defensive midfielder, definitely a left-back, probably a winger or 2, and maybe even a striker or 2 as well. So yeah, I think we're going to do a fair amount of investment over the course of this summer transfer window. So without further ado, let's find out what we've done. Well, on the 2nd of September, we've got £83.7 million to spend. So technically, we've made about a £3 million profit, but what have we actually done? We've brought in £61 million, but we have also spent £66 million, which doesn't make any sense as to why our transfer budget is higher than what it was before. But anyway, Nico Lawrence has left the club, signing for Blackburn for not a lot of money, 95, potentially going up to 140. Charlie Taylor has moved over to Italy, signing for Cagliari for £1.2 million. We did actually have to use an intermediary to get rid of this one. I basically wasn't going to play him. Will Smallbone, a similar situation. He's moved over to Spain to sign for Deportivo La Coruña, I believe, for £1.7 million. And the big one, Aaron Ramsdale's gone. Yeah, Aaron Ramsdale has moved over to Saudi Arabia. We kind of really didn't have too much choice but to accept this one. £54 million, potentially going higher. It says 57. I think it's actually potentially going up to about 60 odd million pounds once you include various other fees that we should get, but we haven't got at the moment. The first of 7 new players to join the club. First of all, we've signed ourselves a goalkeeper. No, this is not an Aaron Ramsdale replacement. We have definitely gone and got one of those. Teddy Sharman-Lowe has joined on a free transfer from Chelsea, I believe. Yeah, we've signed him from Chelsea, obviously out on loan at Doncaster. We brought him in to literally be our number 3 goalkeeper. For £6.25 million, we have signed Max Kilman from West Ham. Obviously, moved over to West Ham in real life for far too much money, and we've picked him up for an absolute bargain. I just don't think he's as good as he perhaps is in real life when it comes to Football Manager attributes. I'm not even convinced he's going to play a huge amount for us, but for just under £7 million, I think that's a good bit of business. Next up, we move over to German defence midfielder Nicholas Dorsch, who we have signed from Heidenheim, 26 years of age. He's going to obviously be playing predominantly as that defence midfield role. Mentally, look at those numbers. Lots and lots of greens, lots of high yellows as well, 15 and all the sorts of numbers like that. He's only cost us £12 million. I think that's a very good signing. Moving further up in terms of price, it is Amari Hutchinson, signed from Ipswich, who obviously got relegated in this save. His season's been odd, because obviously real life, he had a season on loan at Ipswich, and then signed for Ipswich on a permanent deal. He's literally not played any football, and nearly £40 million has been spent on him. I brought him in to be a kind of rotation winger. He can play on either side. I think it's not terrible business. He's still only 20. There's definitely potential there. I'm happy with this. It might backfire. Strengthening our striking options next is Luis Suarez, the 26-year-old Colombian international with just 6 goals to his name, has joined from Almeria and he's cost £18.5 million. We've got 2 more players to talk about. One of them is our new number 1 goalkeeper and one of them is a loanee signing from Chelsea who's probably costing us too much money to loan in. And that is Mykhailo Mudryk, who has joined on loan until the end of the season. He wasn't getting game time at Chelsea. I think we're paying quite a lot of his wages. We're not paying his wages? I'm sure we are. We're paying 45 grand a week as wages. That's still good. I feel like there's a fee here. I'm almost certain there's a fee. There's a £72 million optional fee, which we're not going to do. But I'm almost certain he's costing us money. But apparently he's not. This is good. I like this. And the Aaron Ramsdale replacement is we've gone from one England goalkeeper to another, Jordan Pickford. After Everton got relegated, they basically had a nice big clear out, and I went, I'll take Pickford, thank you very much. And I thought, we've got £60 million to spend. Let's see what they want. 16. We bought an England goalkeeper for £16 million. That is less than what Everton paid for him like 10 years ago. This is good. This is very, very good. We've got ourselves a very good number 1 goalkeeper, a straight replacement as well for Ramsdale. I think they are kind of similar, so I'm okay with this. Not only did we sell a whole load of players, we have loaned out a lot of first-team players as well. Joe Aribo going to Cagliari, Adam Armstrong to Everton, Juan Santos to West Brom, Wellington to Birmingham. We've got this man, Dibaga, might be his name, 17-year-old winger. He's gone out on loan. I think he's going to be good. Rohart Brown to Eastleigh, O'Brien Whitmarsh to Hemel Hempstead, De Pepper to Dorking, Jeffries, Davis, Kelvin. It's not Kelvin, it's Princewell. Kelvin's his brother. Joshua Lett, Brooks Myers, Dobson Ventura, Zach or Will Merry, Shea Charles, isn't it? Shea Charles, Ronnie Edwards, Nathan Wood, Derek Abu, Matsuki, Dibbling, Cambrag, Nathan Boot, Ballard, Amur Mayor, all going out on loan. It's a lot of players to go out on loan. We have also kick-started the season. We have 4 games in so far. We have won one of those matches, beating Brentford 3-0. 2 draws as well against West Ham and Luton, and a 4-3 defeat, against Brighton, who are just 1 place ahead of us at the moment in the table. If we have a look very quickly at the season preview, they still think we're going to be in a relegation scrap, but we've moved up. We're now 16th rather than 18th. And obviously with Ramsdale going, it's okay. It's gone from Walker-Peters and Ramsdale to Pickford and Suarez. Fair enough. And have they worked out we're going to be doing the 4-2-4? They have. So Manning is our number 1 left back. I'm not convinced this is a good idea, but it's kind of what we're going to have to go with. Maybe we can put Walker-Peters over on that side and we can play Sugawara as our right back. I'm not quite sure. We've got Dorsch slot straight into midfield. Kilman slot straight into defence as well. Suarez alongside Brereton Diaz up front. I think we've strengthened the side. And speaking of the side, we are locking in 2 players into our starting 11, and that is Luis Suarez and Cameron Archer. Obviously, Suarez we probably don't need to do, but Archer we do. I think Archer, at 22 years of age, has potential to be fulfilled. I think Ben Brereton Diaz at 25, I think this is as good as he's going to get. So I'm kind of trying to put my eggs in the Cameron Archer-shaped basket to hopefully make him a better footballer. Maybe Brereton Diaz moves on in January or even at the end of the season. Well, we will see what happens. We're now going to jump forward then to the 1st of January, see how well things have gone on in the Premier League at the start of this season. We are going to probably get knocked out of the Carabao Cup against Barnsley, and obviously the FA Cup will not start for us until January anyway. So let's jump forward to see how things go, and maybe we might also have a couple of new signings joining on the 1st of January as well. Starting off then in competitions, we did manage to get past Barnsley in the Carabao Cup, beating them 2-0 away from home, but then we lost 3-0 against Tottenham in the second round, or 4th round for us technically, and yeah, we've been knocked out of the Carabao Cup. Currently, it looks like it is Spurs versus Liverpool and West Ham versus Arsenal in the semi-finals. In the FA Cup, we have a nice winnable match up against York in the 3rd round, so that should be nice and easy getting through to the 4th round. And in the Premier League, we are currently sat 11th place in the table, right in the middle of it. I'm kind of okay with this if we finish here. This is obviously a good season. I want to finish 15th or above. Just year-on-year improvements. That's what we want to be aiming for. I do just want to have a look at the fixtures, though, to see what's really been going on. So we had a terrible month in October, losing all 4 matches, obviously 3 league ones, scoring twice, but both of them coming against the Aston Villa side, who also scored 5 against us, which is not ideal. We started to turn things around. A good win against Man United, a decent win as well against Leeds, a very good win against Arsenal, a very good win as well against Brighton, although I feel like Brighton are doing okay. Were they not doing badly last season, or am I thinking of a different team? I mean, it's okay. I'm kind of happy with this. Things seem to be going all right. Looking at the squad as well, sorting by goals, Suarez has got 13 and Cameron Archer has got 7. I have removed Archer, by the way, because I'm thinking I might drop Archer and just let them decide, because it might be Archer might be the one to go for. Obviously, if we look down the bottom, we've got Onuachu, we've got Archer, we've got Ross Stewart, we've got Brereton Diaz who can play there. So we've got plenty of options who can play up front. And I'm thinking locking in Archer, whilst he's got 7 goals and 4 assists, might not be the best use of our players for our squad. So I'm just going to let them roll with it. Obviously, Suarez getting 13 goals is a very good return so far. Mudryk, just 3 goals and 1 assist. I was expecting better from you. And how's Pickford doing? Just 3 clean sheets and 19 appearances and conceding 32. I mean, yes, I would have expected us to be letting in a lot of goals anyway, but I would have liked more than 3 clean sheets. So obviously the transfer window is open. We've got £85 million to spend. So far no business has taken place, but almost certainly that money is going to burn a hole in my pocket at some point over the next 30 days. So we are going to try and spend a little bit of it. So let's go forward, find out what we do. And also, I guess we're also going to be playing the York game to see whether we get past in the FA Cup third round, which you would hope we would. But you never know, this is Football Manager, and obviously I'm Southampton, and we're rubbish. 2 transfers to talk about leaving the club then. Bakayoko obviously joined in the summer on a free transfer. He's already been moved on. He's moved over to France to Reims for £1.1 million, possibly going up to 1.4. Literally never played for us. I think he was barely even sitting on the bench. And Brooke Myers has also left on a permanent deal going over to West Brom. We've got some reasonable money from £525,000 plus some sell-ons in there. I don't think he's ever going to be good enough to play for us, but if he's kind of going to be good in a few years' time, that's fine. We should get a bit of a kickback if West Brom ever do sell him. Joining the club then, 19-year-old American midfielder Noel Buck has joined from New England. He's on loan at Southampton in real life. He was actually on loan for us in the first season as well, but obviously he was playing for the reserves, so we didn't actually see him. He's coming for £5.75 million. Definitely one for the future, but might get the odd game here or there. And I did say we needed a new left-back, and we have certainly gone and brought one in. Kostas Tsimikas has joined from Liverpool for a very good price, just £2.7 million. It's not even going to be going up. The problem with Kostas is he is on £90,000 a week, which I think might make him our second highest paid player, just behind probably Jordan Pickford. Yeah, Pickford's on 98, Kostas is on 90, Suarez is on 80. 3 brand new players joining us this season, all of them getting paid probably too much money. In the league, things are going very well. We're up to 8th place in the table, and that is because basically January, we didn't lose a league game. In fact, we didn't drop any points. We beat Luton, we beat West Ham, we beat Brentford, and we beat Burnley. Admittedly, we probably had some easier games there to play. We did also beat York in the FA Cup and then lose against Man City, which you probably would have expected to happen anyway. So we are 8th in the table. This is good. We've knocked out of every competition. We've been knocked out of the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup, so we've only got the league to worry about now. 8th place in the table with just 14 games left to play. I think we're in with a shout of getting Europe, which I kind of don't want to happen. I want to drop down to mid-table because I feel like that's more realistic. But we are only 3 points behind Arsenal. Europa Conference League could be on the cards. So then, without further ado, let's jump to the end of the season. Let's see how things have gone on. And have we managed to qualify for Europe or not? No, we've dropped down to 12th place in the table, which is fine. If you told me at the start of the season you'd finish 12th place, I would have taken that. But the fact that we've dropped from 7th to 12th in the space of 14 games, that's not good. Or 8th, I guess, wasn't it? 8th down to 12th in 14 games is not good. And it's because we've had an absolutely appalling run of results. We went completely without any points in February to Newcastle, Leicester, Villa and Liverpool beating us every single match. We then picked up 9 points in March, beating Forest, which is good, beating Chelsea and beating Man United, which is obviously very good. And then we just kind of had another bad month, really. Obviously, 3 points against Leeds and a point against Fulham is fine. But in the last 2 months, in the last 7 games, we picked up 4 points. That's not good enough. That's certainly not good enough, and that would explain why we have dropped down to 12th place. Was it a fairly sharp drop? Not really. It kind of... I'm okay with this. This is fine. If this happened to Saints in real life, I'd be very happy. So the new signing, Luis Suarez, then, is our top goal scorer of the season with 17 goals in the league, 21 in all competitions. He is wanted. Who wants him? Wolves, Al Ali and Al Ittihad. He does have a minimum fee release as well of £35.5 million, which, to be fair, if someone triggers that, I might be okay with that, considering we bought him for 18.5. We're pretty much doubling our money. Cameron Archer was actually our second top goal scorer with 10 goals. Did he sort of... Obviously, we pulled him out in January. He was still getting the odd bit of game time, mostly coming off the bench for a few kind of maybe half, maybe 30 minutes sort of thing. He was getting full games as well. So this seemed like a sensible thing to do, to take him out of the squad. I'm okay with that. You can see that Adozie, Brereton Diaz, Mudryk is all getting 5 goals. Not a lot of goals coming from anywhere else. Ross Stewart scoring 4 in 16 substitute appearances, did not start a single match. When we go by assists, we've got Ben Brereton Diaz with 11. That's a lot. That's a lot of assists. I'm assuming you played on the wing. You didn't. You played up front and got 11 assists. That's ridiculous. Sugawara as well, getting a lot of assists, 8 in total. I think he would have played on the right wing, maybe right back occasionally. Yeah, so I'm guessing once they signed Kostas Tsimikas, they put Tsimikas in left back, Walker Peters in right back, which meant Sugawara ended up being a winger, which in real life, he's not playing there as a winger for Saints, but fair enough, why not? Walker Peters only getting 4 assists. That's not a lot of assists. Certainly not a lot of assists, but we do have a lot of assists kind of going all around the team by the looks of it. And I did think this might happen. Yeah, Max Kilman, obviously, we signed him, and he didn't start a single league game. He only started an FA Cup game, which I'm assuming was probably the one that we lost. And then, yeah, 3 off the bench. So Kilman might not have been the best signing at all. Before we end this season, I just want to have a quick look. So we have a feeder club over in Turkey and a feeder club over in France. These are all the Sport Republic teams. I think there's 3 in real life, but we've only got 2 in this game. Göztepe managed to loan 4 players from us. Cam Bragg, Nathan Wood, Don Ballard and Derek Abu. I just want to see, did they get game time? So Abu got 17. He's not very good, and I'm surprised he got 17 games. Don Ballard got 36 playing up front over in Turkey. I'm happy with that. Nathan Wood as well. He managed to get 35 league games under his belt, getting valuable game time. And Cam Bragg in midfield, he looks quite good. Problem is, we don't play central midfield. We play defence midfielders, so maybe we need to retrain him and then send him out on loan somewhere else next year. Obviously, we don't have the Turkish Super League on, so I don't know how well they're doing. They're not finishing first, second or third, but that's kind of it. But they do, if they qualify for like European competitions, I think we will see those games maybe. The other team that we obviously have is Valencians, and we loaned them, I believe, 3 players. So yeah, Zach Orr, Matsuki, and Will Merry. Will Merry played a lot of games off the bench. He needs some first team football. Matsuki, he's all right, isn't he? He's not great. He actually spent season 1 out on loan at Göztepe. And Zach Orr playing in defence, getting a decent amount of game time, but I just feel like he's not good enough. He's 21. This is kind of the attributes of an 18, 19-year-old. I think if you're going to be good, you need to be better than that at 21. So that's going to do it then for Season 2. We have managed to survive a second year in charge of Southampton, a second season in the Premier League. Season 3 then is going to be another season of obviously trying to build this squad. Financially, we've got £93 million to spend. We've also got a fair amount of deadwood in the squad that I want to try and shift on some of that. We might have a £100 million transfer window coming up in the next season. That could be quite interesting.